Hello there, folks, and welcome back to the final episode of Do It Better, where we ask, can I do it better than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? Well, we'll start off with the answer. Yes, I can. Stayed in the job for a little bit longer than needed, so there's your evidence. But this is the final episode, this is the end of the season, and we are on for the treble. Now listen, whether we do the treble or not, today we find out. We've got the conclusion of the Premier League and a Champions League final versus PSG to come, but you can see there then, a 2-0 victory over Arsenal in the FA Cup final sealed the deal. Do you think it was a back-post header for Cristiano Ronaldo? Yes, it was. He's back in the side and he is raring to go. That said, we are without one of our key players for the final bit of this season. The man of the match for the FA Cup final, Bruno Fernandes. He's out then for the next couple of weeks and will not be available for either game coming the end of the season. It's a pretty big loss. And of course, we've talked tactically quite in depth in this series and in this series generally, but especially in this Manchester United one, about the attacking sort of verve that we've had throughout the course of the season. But today I want to focus a little bit on how good we've been defensively, because we've not really touched on it, but it's been pretty crucial. Let's briefly talk then about Varane and about Maguire and their ability to keep the ball from centre-back positions. You can see there 99 pass completion for Varane this season and 97% from Harry Maguire, both of which are pretty outrageous. And we've even managed to get it going with a lot more of the players. Now, what's interesting, of course, this as a series ends now, but if I were to continue, there's quite obviously a player that doesn't really fit into the way in which we play. Now, whether that's because of the way that we had them play and because they were crossing the ball more and venturing forward more, but I remember Saka's pass percentage compared to the other four around him. If we highlight all four there, you can kind of see at the top, is far lower than the other boys there. So again, it might be slightly stylistic, it might be slightly role-based, and that's something you've got to take into account. Of course, his key passes really high. Then again, so is Telesh's. So I don't really play that into account. Like the rest of the stats are pretty similar in terms of chance creation and assists. I just think that Telesh is slightly better on the ball. And to me, that's a place where Wan-Bissaka falls down quite a lot. That 10 passing, it's kind of obvious when you look at that. So obviously, giving away the ball will lead to mistakes, and mistakes lead to goals. And that's something obviously we'd have to cut out. But all in all, defensively, superb. And David De Gea he deserves a mention. I've rotated him and Henderson around a little bit more than I expected to, but in the games that he's played, 27 appearances, only 16 conceded and 14 clean sheets. Of course, we talked about it last time. Defending with the ball has been crucial. Like tactically, and we've not really talked about the tactical that much actually. And of course, I'll put this on the Steam Workshop and even link in the description. So if you want to use the high line Manchester United or the low line Manchester United tactics, then you can do. It's quite straightforward. It's the same tactic. One's got a high line, one hasn't, and one works the ball down both flanks and one doesn't. Anyway, the Workshop, they're there for you. If you want to download them and have a little look at them. Where were we? But no, tactically, the way in which we keep the ball, playing out of defence, shorter passing, lower tempo, it is sort of this, like it says there, control possession. And then in transition, we're counter-pressing. We're not countering that much. Again, once we've got the ball, we're trying to keep it. We don't want to lose it easily. That's crucial for me. Something I've watched, and we're coming off the back of watching Manchester United play Chelsea in real time, for those that are watching live. There's this problem at United, and they still sort of have it now, that keeping the ball in key areas is a problem for them, so they have to defend an awful lot more, which makes them often look like quite good defenders, sometimes better defenders than they are, of course, going forward. And there's this idea of being on the counter-attack, and in my opinion, to get the best out of Ronaldo, and this is where this sort of came as a vision for me, to get the best out of Ronaldo, I wanted to play a system where we didn't have to rely on that too much. I didn't want to overwork him, basically, was a big part of all of this. Of course, out of position again, with the high line, we're making sure we're really pushed up. We're trying to keep teams back. And again, if you start from a high position, you're not inviting the pressure on quite so much. Of course, playing a lower line, very much used to stop people getting in behind with speed, and we've used that really well this season again. In this game, we'll be using a high line as we play Everton, and that brings us to the final game of the league season then. As you can see, top of the table, 3 points clear, 3 points goal advantage. And you might be thinking, you've won it then. I mean, what can possibly... You've not watched me before, have you? So if you have watched me before, you know what we're talking about. We are up against the hitman of the Premier League season. Him and Salah are going for it. Calvert-Lewin is the man we're talking about. A player that I think would suit this team perfectly. And if Manchester United do move on the likes of Cavani and Ronaldo, and they're looking for a target man in a couple of years, I reckon Calvert-Lewin might be pretty high on that list. Bruno Fernandes and Ronaldo have been superb all season. Two of the brightest sparks in the side, and again, losing Fernandes for this final game is a problem, but there's a reason we signed Renato Sanchez along with Kondogbia and Barella, and that midfield trio continue to impress me game in, game out. I guess there's an option to play Donny here actually, but again, to both players struggling a little bit for fitness. There is also a world where you move Barella over to the right-hand side, you move Kondogbia up and down on that left side, of course, and then McTominay sits in. But I think we'll start with Sanchez and then maybe move to that in the second half of the game if it's not quite going my way. I say sharpness, sorry, sharpness is fine, it's morale, so I got massively confused there. Its morale isn't so good, neither's Donny's, just because they've not played nearly as much as I think both of them would have wanted to this season. So actually, sharpness-wise, they're fine. It's that last little bit. Pointless. Right, let's go into this game then against Everton. Let's see if we can wrap up the Premier League title and then play PSG and hopefully beat them as well. Of course, we're going to be talking through all of our tactical decisions as we go through this. It would seem crazy to me, and I didn't really show you the fixtures, did I? It would be crazy for me to change this because our recent form has been phenomenal, as well as the FA Cup final win, clean sheets in our last 4 Premier League games, 2-0 wins at every single stage. Once games are won, I make some changes, we keep things fresh, and we're ready to go again. You can see as well just down there, Cristiano Ronaldo banging the goals recently, really good. How far is Ronaldo off the top goal scorer? 14, so yeah, he's going to have to score 11 to beat Calvert-Lewin maybe. I think it's unlikely. Cavani continues as the pressing forward, Sancho on that right-hand side, of course, and if you're familiar with the rest of the team, you know how it operates by now, I'd like to think. So let's get into this, let's see how the boys do. Hopefully by this time in the season they are very familiar with the system, and of course I've got to have in mind I'm about to face Neymar, Messi and Mbappe, and playing that deeper line might be quite crucial. Playing Rafa Benitez's side here, which I think is going to play pretty deep. I had a little look before we started. They do like to keep the ball. They're very willing to do that, but they're also very dangerous from wide areas, and getting balls into Calvert-Lewin obviously is the place of danger. We're going with a higher line because I think the pacing behind of Calvert-Lewin is probably matched by the likes of Varane as the example, so I don't have a massive concern there. Of course, players like, I don't know if he's starting actually, but players like Richarlison are going to be quite scary, yeah, and Andros Townsend. So if we find that they're getting in far too often, especially with the overlaps, then we might decide to play that line a little deeper. But I don't want those 2 fullbacks isolated from that. I feel like if teams are playing, like you got to think about the instructions, right? If they're playing to get in behind and using the overlap, as Cavani with a big chance, he's got to slide it in. I can't believe he's not scored. If they're using that overlap and they're isolating my fullbacks, I definitely don't want to invite pressure in that sense. I'd rather be pushed up. I'd rather give Luka Dean and Nwobi on either fullback position something to think about than say, well, go on then, double up on me, find balls in behind, like isolate me one-on-one. It's something I think Wan-Bissaka gets caught out with quite a lot in real football as well, so I don't want to try and have that happen in these games either. As Sancho, nearly a wonderful move from him, dribbles through everybody, nearly makes something of it. Be interesting to see how we see Renato Sanchez interlink with Wan-Bissaka, with Sancho in this side, as a corner to be taken. Of course, Bruno off all set pieces now. That's the big loss really for us. That's why he's got so many assists this year, as he's such a good set piece taker. Ball to the back post. It's not so good from Renato, as Ben Godfrey has kicked Ronaldo in the back of the legs. It'll be a free kick. I don't know if we're going to get to see it. We are actually, from this left side again. Telles should take it. He's not a bad set piece taker at all, but he's not quite at the level of Bruno, as Wan-Bissaka brings this forward. I think the highlight is probably over, as I don't love the fact Wan-Bissaka is all the way over here as it goes towards Cavani, and we're going to get another corner. Of course, we've been pretty dangerous from them. I will say, actually, and it's interesting, I don't know if it's just because personnel changed, or of course we lost Ronaldo, and the way in which we had to adapt to play altered a little bit, but we've had considerably less headers, I would say, in recent times. With the start of the season, it was silly. Second half of the season, to give it a bit of balance, not so much. The match engine didn't give me quite so many, as Wan-Bissaka, ball played in, Ronaldo's there. And so far, it's pretty calm. Of course, we only need to draw, I realise, at this very back end of the season. We've got the match XG story there. We'll get rid of that. We'll bring up the latest scores just to see. Of course, Liverpool are the team that we're scared of. They could be the boys to apply pressure. As Cavani, I was going to say he's in. He's not quite. But Ronaldo, Barella and Sanchez have moved into positions of danger. Sancho, again, if he can pull it back, that is how we play. That is how we do. That was a wonderful goal, and a tap into me in Football Manager is the most perfect goal. There is not a more perfect goal than a tap in, as Cavani, brilliant hold up play. That's what I've seen from him all year. Into Barella, Sanchez interlinking with Sancho on that right hand side, not cutting in so much, finding passes towards the front men. You can see as well, Cavani's there, but so is Ronaldo, and that duo up front all season has been tremendous. We have a lead then, and now something to protect. Liverpool currently being held by Arsenal as well. So it looks as if with United, I'm going to win the league. And this sort of brings me back to episode 1 a little bit, because many people thought, well, this is going to be easy. You're obviously going to find a way to win the league. And from my perspective, Liverpool are much better in this year's football manager. So are Manchester City. And United certainly aren't a top side. Do I think some of their players are slightly stronger than they should be in real life? Yeah, I do. Even though they finished second last year, I think there are certain strengths within this United side that are a little bit too powerful for my money. But equally, when you've got Ronaldo, when you've got Cavani, you've always got a chance. Wonderful work from Ronaldo on the left-hand side. And we've seen 2 parts of Cavani's game. I've recently signed him in my Glory Hunter series, then kind of replaced him with Vlahovic. He'd obviously be another player that I think would fit this system fantastically. Slightly bigger than Cavani, slightly younger, slightly quicker. Like, would be a really good addition for United. And I keep hearing, it's funny, I saw a rumour recently, because of signings I've been making in different series, they may well come off in real life. Barella was sort of talked about a little bit in a United context. I think Renato Sanchez has been recently as well. And Vlahovic was the most recent one. Wonderful cross from Telles. Varane with the header. The confidence we're building here, by the way, for the Champions League final is what I'm most interested in. Jeffrey Kondogbia, though, booking 6.5 average rating. Really not particularly good. I would say average rating, match rating. Particularly good. There's Varane, though. As much as I've been saying headers up, particularly overpowered, we've just seen 2 back-to-back. But a 3-0 lead, and at Anfield, Liverpool need a miracle. The miracle needs to come from Everton. It's almost like Everton are going, no, you carry on. You do as you please. If you want to win the league, you win the league. We are going to make a switch. We're going to get Kondogbia out, bring in Scott McTominay. And is there another move I'd like to make? I think Ronaldo to stay on, actually. I think Rashford for Cavani. Cavani's on a... The thing is, with Cavani now, he's on a hat-trick. He'll be furious if I take him off. But I am thinking about the Champions League final. I am thinking about resting players for that. And the 2 crucial players in my mind are Cavani and are Ronaldo. And we do have options off the bench to bring on to have those boys be replaced. Again, Sancho, another one I think is so important on that side. It's got a lot more quality than anybody else we play out there. I don't mind Greenwood out there, but I just think, I think there's just a bit more quality from Sancho generally as he looks towards Ronaldo and it's headed back towards Pickford. And they've not really got going, Everton, in this game. Like, you think about how Calvert-Lewin needs to be brought into play. I don't think this is the way you do it with this Everton team. I think playing like a 4-4-2 would work really well with this Everton team. Having Richarlison play off the likes of Calvert-Lewin and have Calvert-Lewin be the centre point, 2 really hard-working midfielders with Allen and Decore, and then you've got a few other players there. That's Cavani, another really good attempt. And the fullbacks for Everton are solid too. Like, Luca Dean is one of the best in the league at it. This, for me, is not what I'd be doing. I think you isolate the central 2, you isolate Calvert-Lewin, and it's always going to be a little bit difficult. Set pieces, though, I think they're probably pretty strong. 3 centre-backs, of course, as well as Decore, who's quite tall. Again, Calvert-Lewin, ridiculous in this year's game, so good. And Iwobi on that side, and we actually end up stopping anything from happening, really. It was quite simple. Ronaldo dribbles inside, keeps the ball, and now it's a case of just hold on, boys, nothing silly. To collapse from here would be pretty outrageous, I think. But this is a nice spell of possession from us. We don't always get to watch and see this, but you can see some of the patterns of movement here. We've always got like a little triangle somewhere on the pitch. That's what you get when you play this particular system. There's not a load of direct running all the time. You are looking to be a little bit more crafty, a little bit cleverer, and it allows the pass at all times. When you're playing a possession style, it's exactly what you want. Cavani finds Sancho. Can he find the triangle towards Ronaldo? He can. Beats his man, Cristiano. Pull it back. Telles is there. It's got to be, and it is. 4-0. And how many passes was that? Goodness gracious me, that was ridiculous. I'd kind of like to see that as the build-up play in a post-match graphic. I might bring that up afterwards. But 4-0, lovely passing move. Everton couldn't really get near us. It came after it broke down for them, remember? And then we've just passed them to death, really. And 4-0, it's a good tactic. It's a good system. I've never really used, is it Carrillo? Is that how you say it? I'm just going to double check to make sure I get it right. Yeah, this role here, the Carrillo, or the Shuttler, which is way easier to say. I've never really used one before, but I was reading through the definitions of them, like in a lot of detail before this save. And again, I saw Barella, and I thought he'd just be perfect. I knew what I wanted to do with Ronaldo, and I knew how to get a player that fitted that particular role. And now, again, I guess if I'm talking about what I'd improve going into future seasons, and not just because he's having a bad game now, by the way, I've not made changes to the players I was going to bring off. Do you know what, viewers? This would happen if I left it. So Ronaldo's coming off for Diallo. Rashford is coming on for Cavani. Just going to rest those boys for the final 2 minutes, just so they don't get injured. If I was going to make changes now to this team, and if I could improve it, I'd probably look for a more natural replacement to Ronaldo. I don't think I got it right with Perisic. I think there's probably a better option there, but at the time there really wasn't, and for the money it made sense, so we did it. I'd get a better partner for Varane. I don't think Lindelof, Bailey or Maguire are up to it necessarily. Left back, I think they're really strong. Telles and Shaw, really good options. Wan-Bissaka we talked about. I definitely need to get someone who's a little bit more ball playing in that role. And the rest of it, I think the midfield I built really nicely. Goalkeeper, there's question marks. It depends how long you think De Gea will go, but we talked about it at the start of the episode. He's been fantastic, so there's no real need to rush him out. What I will say is, I don't think that Dean Henderson's the guy. I think there has to be another goalkeeper out there for them somewhere. If there was an obvious choice for me, and this would be a controversial choice because of where they'd have to get him from, so it probably isn't very likely, Muslera would maybe be the guy. Whether that would happen in real life, I don't know. But he, to me, makes a lot of sense as someone that would be perfect for United as things stand. But there we are then, a Premier League victory. But as you know, we're not done yet. And I'm not going to cut this, actually. We're going to continue as a live commentary. 6 days before we play Paris Saint-Germain. Some of the lads are a little bit tired, so we'll give them that day's rest to hopefully see them recover in full. But yeah, so far a really good season, and I say so far a really good season. Of course, it's a really good season. We've done the double, which is fun to do. I'm getting all sorts of achievements, by the way. I'm just going to read that. I got Iron Curtain. I'm not sure what Iron Curtain is. Your team has conceded the fewest league goals over the entire season. So let's take a quick look at it before we go to this Champions League final, because I don't want to miss the Premier League success. It's a really difficult league to win. So we'll take it. Liverpool did end up beating Arsenal as well, so we did have to win our game and win it well, as we did do. Tottenham, so weird on this year's Football Manager. Really, really questionable. Leeds, by the way, up in 7th. Really strong from them. Let's take a look at the league as a bit more of a whole then. 101 goals at the very end of the season. Then we've just overtaken Liverpool with that 4-0 win over Everton as well. I suspect they let me do it. 19 goals conceded. Again, defensively, this system is really, really good. Again, if you've got sort of a ball player at right back as well, think how good it could be. You have someone who's really good at crossing in that role. Of course, you've got the defensive attributes of Wan-Bissaka, which shouldn't go understated, really. Like, they are really important. But it's the on-the-ball possession play that I think Manchester United fans would like to see more so in that team. I think people accept that Wan-Bissaka's a good defender, but he's not amazing when it comes to going forward or in possession, and that would concern me quite a lot. Home record then. Let's take a look at a few of these. Unbeaten at home, and we weren't the only ones. Liverpool did the same thing at Anfield. City only one defeat at the Etihad. As far as away form is concerned, this is where we were strongest, and I think this came down to having those two systems, having a low line, having a high line, picking which system worked best. Of course, there were some defeats in there. Brentford, Arsenal, City, and arguably in a couple of them we did get it wrong. But yeah, 7 points clear of Liverpool, or any team, in fact, for the away record. The first half of the season, for me, didn't quite go as planned. We had those injuries towards the very back end of it, and it impacted us a little bit in the second half. But when you win the league, ordinarily you dominate both sides. So both are very similar, actually. 49 points in the second half, 48 in the first. We're picking hairs, really. There's not. Is it picking hairs? there's not too much between them at all. Quick look at the overview then. Timu Pukki getting 22 for Norwich. They've survived. Who's the Norwich manager in this now? Okay, Frank Lampard has taken over. Well, Dean Smith got it, but Frank might have done a pretty good job. Average rating wise, you can see Varane, Telles, Barella probably missed out on like the top 3 slots all season, but yeah, you can see Van Dijk, De Bruyne, Mane, Salah, Odegaard up there as well. He's had a really good time for Arsenal, who had a very, very good season. I've not seen Arsenal play this well in the first season of FM for a while. I assume Arteta's still there. Yeah, he's really got them firing. Really impressive from them. Disappointing for Chelsea finishing 6th. Really not good at all. But right, let's continue then. And let's get to this PSG game after that Premier League rundown. I just want to say, as we are sort of on the interlink between the two, thank you so much for watching this series. I know it's been 3 days since the last one, as this comes out on the Monday. We've done a few different bits and pieces in between that. But yeah, it's been so much fun to do. I had some things going on Friday and then Saturday as well, so I was very busy over the weekend, and I didn't want to just rush this out and do it in a way that I wasn't happy with. I thought, you know what, I'll wait till Monday. We'll bring it out in the time slot that we've had it out all week. By the way, I'm winning everything here. Manager of the year, love that. Goal of the season, we're not involved. 2 Norwich players in that, which is a bit weird. Bruno taking every plaudit there, really. Amazing stuff from him. Team of the year, Milner at left back, Cavani up front. Love to see that, by the way. Cavani up front. No Ronaldo, but I mean, had a big spell injured, so that does make sense. But no, back to it. It's just lovely to see people getting on board. Sorry, interrupted again. Barella, promised, not happy. Wanted to be. Did he want to be a ball winner? I'm just going to apologise and say, yeah, next year we'll do what you want. I mean, obviously not, but he'll never know. It's lovely to see people give this type of series a chance for me, because I've said it in a few recent episodes, is that I think my reputation of playing FM is that I'm a bit of an idiot, which, let's face it, I've sort of designed it in that way. But I also want to be able to showcase that, not just in terms of Football Manager, but football knowledge and ability. There is a bit in there that hopefully you can apply to your own saves and do things with. He wants to leave. I mean, yeah, you want to leave, Perisic? Yeah, you go, mate. You go get a loan next season. That's my one big error. But hopefully you've enjoyed seeing this side of it from the comments and from some of the tweets I've had specifically. You seem to have really enjoyed it. The last video as well, there were loads of really lovely comments about how you are enjoying it, which is great to see. I like the fact I can diversify my content a little bit. It gives me something different to focus on. And of course, we won't just play 4-3-3 with the best teams all the time. Some of the do-it-betters will be some of the lower league sides, whether it be the Premier League or maybe even different divisions, of course. They do take a lot of time and a lot of work. I don't holiday through these. I do play through every game. I want to make sure I understand what's going on in matches. So, I mean, a few of you might be interested, actually. Let's bring this up. So, yeah, I played for about 24 hours. So that makes sense to me. It's about 20... Oh, the Greenwood's gone. Blimey. So a save of this nature for a full season for me. I've definitely done it in shorter time periods before, where I've played it all in one day. But yeah, 24 hours is... This was more work than I anticipated. I'd be interested to know what people's average time is actually at going through saves like this. But yeah, really happy with it. Okay, Mike Phelan is suggesting we hold a team meeting just a couple of days to go before we get to the final. I'm going to talk about my upcoming chances. I'm positive we can win this. Tom Heaton's not sure. The rest of the boys, expressionless. So that's good, isn't it? Apparently we're trying to bring in this coach, are we? I mean, I'm nothing to do with it, but I'm happy to do it. As again, just a day to go before we get there. Let's bring in a coach I didn't know we needed. Who's trained? I see players that don't train well are just the players that don't play. I say that Benjy, what was that? 9.15. He's loving it. Is he the man? It's interesting. Would he be the man that you would ever place next to Varane? I don't know. He's on loan at Aston Villa. He's had a 6.8 playing for Aston Villa, which is not amazing. But again, Villa aren't a top side. They're a good team, but they're not an amazing team. Would he be the man to replace? I'm not sure. Meanwhile, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, who's got 2 years left on his contract, wants to talk about it right now, does he? Well, let's see if Marcus can talk him round. And hopefully Wan-Bissaka does. Okay, he does want to talk about it. Yes, end of the season, we'll talk about it, mate. Just whatever. The reality is, I'd probably try and sell him. I'd hope that Newcastle would offer me some big money. I'm going to get that done. Scott McTominay wants a contract as well. Scott, yeah, mate, problem? No problem. Good. Just, I know this is... I am just managing the team here. There's so much unrest before this Champions League final. Now, we'll have a look at PSG. We'll try and figure out what they're going to do. Obviously, this is a game I'd like to win. So, we will take a look at some of the next opponent stuff, if we can do. Where are we looking at? Next opponent stuff. So, they play a cautious mentality when playing away. Well, that's helpful, isn't it? Control possession, though. That's what we're expecting with the likes of Messi, Neymar. It kind of makes sense. Mbappe is that inside forward. Messi as an inverted winger. And they've got that similar triangle in the middle. Interestingly, they play Ramos and Kimpembe at the back and Marquinhos slightly further forward. If we had Bruno, I'd be happy that we could maybe cause him quite a few problems. At left back, Theo Hernandez was brought in from AC Milan at the start of the save. Ugh, good heavens. Or maybe even in the January period, it looks like there. He's... As I know from Glory Hunter, they've made this team even better, which seemed impossible. Apparently not that impossible. As far as we're concerned, we know what we're going to play. It's going to be the exact side that played that final game against Everton. Because of the injury to Bruno, he's not quite back, ready to play. I might put him on the bench ahead of Diallo, just in case there's reason to bring Sanchez off. But yeah, not ideal. Again, one of our best performers this year, so annoying. Right, let's go into this. They're playing control possession. I think against this... this is tricky because Messi... this is where PSG are quite good. I realise the more I think about it, the more I think I don't know what to do. Because of the way that Messi plays, it's very different to the way that Mbappe plays. You've got the pace on one side with Mbappe on the right-hand side, and he's up against Wan-Bissaka there, which I actually think is probably quite a good matchup for us. On the other side, Messi versus Telles playing in that area where sort of Ronaldo is playing as well. The battle of this side, Ronaldo versus Barella. You've got Hakimi versus Telles, and of course Messi there as well, and then Ronaldo trying to find spaces too. We're quite evenly matched actually, and the way that Neymar plays as well, like he's going to drop in a little deeper, be that little bit more involved. I'm gonna play. I'm gonna start with the high line and then move off it. Maybe if I feel like I'm getting killed by Neymar and Mbappe. Neymar's also very quick in FM, so you've got to be careful with him. The rest of the lineup, though, pretty happy with. Let's go into it. I don't want to overthink it too much. Oh, can I have 12 subs as well? Okay, I can. Let's get them all on there, viewers. It's a Champions League final, of course. Tom Heaton, because you weren't happy about the team talk, Lingard's getting your spot. See what you've done? See, you've ruined that there. You could have ended up with a medal, but no, not anymore. Right, the teams are warming up. Here we go. Manchester United versus PSG. It's Poch versus me. And the team is as we expected it to be. A strong bench for them as well. Di Maria, Riccardi, Verratti there as well. Mendes is a good player. He's fuming. He can't believe that they've signed Hernandez. He's been put out in the cold. Okay, I think midfield-wise, we are probably just as strong as they are. It's that forward area. The problems that Mbappe might cause Wan-Bissaka, that scares me a little bit. And, of course, the creativity of Messi. But with that high line, I'm hoping we can try and enforce the way that we want to play. The first 20 minutes here, I think, is going to be crucial. If we're having more of the ball, more of the play, more possession, I'm inclined to stick with it. If we're not, I'm inclined... Okay, well, the possession just jumped a lot there in the first 10 minutes. It looks as if early on, we might dominate the ball, but it's way too early to say, and actually it's not even true. 20 minutes in, pause it. I don't like this very much. I don't like the fact that they've got more possession. I also now think, though, because they've not created anything so far in the first 20 minutes, I was going to say, let's drop back, but I don't want to invite them on. I don't want to invite Messi on, basically, is what I'm getting at. I feel like he's too dangerous to play against. Oh, man, they're so smart, the AI sometimes. Like, Ronaldo playing the box-to-box role is doing a very similar job to what I was with Barella and Ronaldo, or I'm doing with Barella and Ronaldo on that side. This first half, I actually think, is going not as I expected, if I'm completely honest. I mean, Theo Hernandez has got a booking. I kind of expected that. But that's really interesting. It suggests that we're playing quite deep, despite playing the high line, that we're being forced back a little bit. And yeah, we are doing. And Cavani is quite an isolated figure up there, actually. And it's allowing PSG to try and make inroads centrally. But it's not been to much success so far. They've had a couple of shots. It's not really done anything. The XG is slightly in our favour anyway. I said it at the start of the first half. I'm going to say it again. The first 20 minutes here are going to be crucial as to how this game pans out. I'm not sure if there's anything I'd want to change. Possession-wise, Cavani's hold-up play is struggling against two very physical defenders, which makes sense, and Marco Rossi is sat just in front too. So that might be a problem for him. What I might do as a result of that, because we're playing him as a pressing forward, and from what we can tell, PSG are keeping the ball very well, is we're going to change his role. We're going to make him a deep line forward on support, have him sit a little deeper, not necessarily be quite so far pushed up, allow the space for Sancho, maybe Ronaldo more so, to cut inside and create inroads, and equally have him not be so close to those two defenders that so far seem to be dominating him a little bit. Because I do think if you're not going to score goals, it's usually because your attacker is either isolated or being dominated, and I think right now it's the latter, and then it's been dominated. Okay, first time we're seeing a highlight. It'll be interesting to see how the build-up play works out and positionally where people stack up. They've got Neymar sort of doing this pressing role from the front, which I don't know if I would do. Ronaldo cuts inside. There's Barella. Ronaldo does make a move inside as Barella's got the support of Telles now. And interestingly, shape-wise here, we are very much pushing them back quite well. Ronaldo into Cavani. Oh, if we'd have scored, I'd have felt like a genius. I'm not necessarily sure it would have been in part to that. Wan-Bissaka, by the way, struggling big time. 6.2 he's on. We could bring Delo on because we know Delo is going to be slightly better on the ball. Telles comes to meet that header, and they've got a man over on that side. Hakimi's very, very dangerous. Probably the best right back in the game, other than maybe Trent. Reece James is also very good. And Mbappe back post to Neymar. It looked offside. I think he's offside. We'll hope he's offside. I'm not expecting Mbappe to win many back post headers. They're walking away like they know that it's not going to be a goal. Let's see if they give it. Well, I'm an idiot. They have given it. First 9 minutes then of this half. Let's take a look at it again. I don't think this is a scenario I envisaged happening, really. Mbappe gets... I kind of think the match engine is a bit weird there. Sort of floats through Wan-Bissaka to get the ball. I'm not a huge fan of it. And knocks it down to Neymar, who's not going to miss from there. Right, and now we're gone. And performance-wise, we are a little bit disconnected. Cavani is still a bit of an isolated figure. So, how do we change it? Do we take a risk here? And I think maybe getting Cavani off might be the move. Playing Ronaldo as a poacher, pushed right forward, having Rashford come on, give them a different threat on that left-hand side, give Hakimi something more to worry about in terms of pace, inside forward for Rashford, and let's have Telles pushing forward. Let's have that support system with Barella, who I think stays in this shuttle role. There's a temptation to make him a box-to-box midfielder, just because he'll keep it a bit more simple now, and that might mean he'll release Rashford a little more. Right, we'll give it a go. The other option for us would have been to bring Greenwood on at this point for Sancho, who's not having a very good game. I wonder if maybe changing his role slightly now would be worth it. I don't think so. I think we're going to leave it as is. We're not going to drop the line any deeper. I feel like their goal was a bit of an anomaly, actually. But we'll see if the change in putting Ronaldo up front makes any impact. It might be worth putting Renato Sanchez just behind Ronaldo to give him more support. And I think with 20 minutes to go, that might be the move. This is where I wish we had. I mean, I could try and risk him, actually. Oh, am I going to risk this? Okay, we are going to risk this. Renato Sanchez is going to become a deep line playmaker. Kondogbia is going forward. We're 1-0 down. We're going to go for it. Bruno's going to come on despite being a bit injured. Shadow striker, push right behind Ronaldo. Let's see. Will there be a moment for us now as we take a bit of a gamble? We're going to have to try and isolate their central players, I guess, but that might be quite hard to do as the players split. You can see positionally now, it's a slightly different threat for PSG to worry about. And there's Rashford. I mean, what is the touch there? Neymar, 2 options in the middle, 3 options in the middle. It breaks. Messi. Oh, such a good goal. Okay. Oh, dear. I don't know if we've left it too exposed centrally and we've gone for it a little bit too much. I guess there's going to be regrets in this because we've lost it. And there are ways we could have changed it. I think most United fans would take a Champions League final, if I'm honest. But here we are. It's just the movement from Messi there. Bruno gets sucked in a little bit, and there's the finish. There aren't many goals. I've watched every game this year. Not seen many goals like that. But Messi, if there's a man that will do it, he probably is that guy. We need something pretty quick. I guess we've been on balance the whole time. It's probably worth going attacking, play with a higher tempo. Probably should have done that 10, 15 minutes ago. That's probably a bit of an oversight as Rashford tries to slide one through towards Bruno. Doesn't quite come off. But again, decent play from us. 10 minutes to go as the final episode of Do It Better. We're going to need 10 minutes of magic. Now, an old Manchester United side are pretty good at this. There's Bruno with his injury. Oh my, what is that, Donnarumma? Have they playing Donnarumma over Navas? That is a ridiculous save. It was such good play by Ronaldo. The hold-up play was sensational. Lovely pass inside too. As there we go. I'll say there we go. Sancho's got a booking. He's not played very well, Sancho, which is really frustrating because in the last game he was pretty good. I mean, I don't know if I'll take it off. Wan-Bissaka, by the way, get off the pitch. Terrible performance from you. Yes, admittedly, you're against Mbappe, but we've not seen a huge amount from him other than a back post header. There's another corner for them now, near that front post perhaps. Kimpembe, it's a big chance. Someone asked actually in the comment section, I don't think it was on this video, I think it was another one, of why do you, if you know it's overpowered heading, why do you use it? You can't complain about it and use it. It's like, well, if I don't use it, the AI attacking heading is still really good. My options are don't use it and concede to it and put myself at a disadvantage. Use it, maybe bring it to SI's attention a little bit and maybe they'll change it. That to me is a better way of thinking. But of course, they'll have, like, Football Manager have all the data on it. They'll know how many goals are scored from corners and headers and things like this. So if they make changes, it'll be based upon what they know. As PSG still coming forward. We've not really been at the races. I think we've got a free kick with about a minute to go, but it just hasn't been our day. There's been some quite poor performances. Lack of Bruno Fernandes in the centre was a shame because I would have loved to have started him. He just wasn't fit to do so. Sancho's had probably his worst game for me. Renato Sanchez hasn't had a great game either. And defensively, we've been a little bit all over the place. But I think we probably give the credit to PSG. It's such a difficult team to play against because of the Messi and Mbappe factors. And then the middle player is Neymar. Like, I'm interested actually. Comment section. Leave me with this. A little bit of tactical thoughts. What would you have done in this situation? Do you allow Messi to play with that deeper line, or do you allow Mbappe the space in behind? I don't really know. I don't know what I'm supposed to. You're rocking a hard place. A very difficult decision to make. The first goal's annoying. The second is a bit of class from Lionel. Can't be too annoyed about that. But PSG are going to lift the trophy. I don't need to see it. The first time I want to see it this year is when I do it. So forget it. I'm far from pleased. I actually think we probably should have done more there, and it should have been slightly better. You win some, you lose some. One week you're destroying Everton, the next you're losing to PSG. And while I do think we did it better, we didn't quite do a treble. So Alex Ferguson, you can have that one against me if you like. That's going to bring us to the end. And if you've enjoyed it, do subscribe. Recommend another team for me to do in the comment section. I'll be taking a look through all your tactical chat, as well as whether you enjoyed the series or not, and some suggestions for the next one. Yes, December's coming up. We'll definitely do another one in December. This was the November edition of Do It Better. I'm going to try and do one every month. If that's, probably should have said that at the start of the series. If you enjoyed it, do leave a like. Want to subscribe? Make sure you do it. There's a Clips channel going on. Follow me on Twitter. I'm nearly at 40,000 followers. So come on, be that person. I'm in love with care. Goodbye, everyone. Take care. This has been good. I really love these. This is very, very lethargic. Lethargic? That's the wrong word. Very cathartic. Similar word.